The less noise you make, the more power you hold. In a world addicted to oversharing every emotion, every meal, and every meaningless detail, Sigma males remain digital ghosts. You won't catch them broadcasting their inner world on social media or begging for validation through emotional exhibitionism. Here's the twist. Behavioral psychology studies suggest the average person reveals around 80% of their internal dialogue to others. Sigma males? They barely offer up 8%, and even that's passed through layers of psychological firewalls. So, what's behind the poker face, the dodged questions, and the quiet exits? Is it strategy? Wounds they never speak of? Or something even more unsettling? Let's be real. Some people write off Sigma males as just emotionally distant introverts with strong Wi-Fi signals. Others think they've got classified intel hidden under their bed. But the truth? It's colder, smarter, and far more intentional. So let's unpack it. No fluff, no cliches. Just the stripped-down, unapologetic truth behind why Sigma males stay private, and what's actually hiding behind those watchful, unreadable eyes. Number 1, they've learned that oversharing is fuel for manipulation. This isn't paranoia, it's pattern recognition. Sigma males have picked up on a harsh reality most people ignore. The more people know about you, the easier it is to control you. So once they saw the pattern, they shut the vault. Not because they're emotionally cold, but because they've been studied like maps and used like weapons. Every moment of openness was eventually twisted, used against them, or thrown back in their face at the worst possible time. Now, they don't hand people knives they can be stabbed with later. Most people talk freely because they assume others are listening to connect. Sigma males know better. They've watched people nod with fake empathy, only to dissect their words behind closed doors. They've seen safe spaces turn into data mines. They've realized that many people don't want to know you, they want to leverage you. And in that world, information becomes currency. So when someone starts asking too many personal questions, the Sigma male doesn't feel flattered, he feels alert. He knows when someone's fishing for access, not authenticity. Vulnerability, when offered to the wrong person, becomes a ticking time bomb. And he's not giving anyone the codes. He's not playing hard to get. He's playing long-term defense. His privacy isn't a flaw, it's armor. Because once people figure out what moves you, they'll push, pull, and prod, not out of care, but out of curiosity, envy, or boredom. The Sigma male doesn't fear intimacy. He just refuses to give anyone the remote control to his inner world. He's not bitter. He's surgical. He doesn't unload pain on strangers or broadcast wounds for sympathy. He seeks peace. And peace comes from knowing no one has the intel to manipulate your wiring. So when he goes quiet, distant, unreadable, it's not because he's hiding a secret. It's because he's been burned before. And he'd rather walk through fire alone than hand someone else the matches. Number 2, what they hide is a mind running simulations before you even finish your sentence. You're speaking. But he's not just listening, he's analyzing. While most people are crafting their next reply, the Sigma male is 10 mental moves ahead. His silence isn't emptiness. It's calculation. He's zoning in, not out. Watching your expressions, reading the rhythm of your voice, dissecting your energy. What seems like a casual chat to you is a real-time psychological scan to him. He hears what you said, but more importantly, he notices what you avoided, what you repeated, what you emphasized, and what you downplayed. To him, every word is data. Every pause is a signal. Every contradiction is a breadcrumb. While you think you're just having a conversation, he's already mapped your behavioral tendencies, predicted your angles, and filed the interaction in a mental dossier. This isn't overthinking, it's operational intelligence. His mind is a constant observer, trained not to trust assumptions, but patterns. And trust? That's not something he feels into. It's something he verifies. You may think you're bonding. He's studying. You may think you're leading. He's steering, with invisible strings. He doesn't need to flex power out loud, he wields it through precision, awareness, and anticipation. He's not cold. He's composed. He doesn't react because he already ran the outcome in his mind. That stillness? It's not hesitation. It's premeditated control. Because while others waste time explaining themselves or filling silence out of discomfort, the Sigma male uses silence to win. Not out of arrogance. But because he knows what happens when people speak faster than they think. And he refuses to become one of them. Number 3, they've experienced the emotional cost of being too open. Once was enough. Somewhere in his past, the Sigma male made the fatal error of exposing his raw, unfiltered self. No barriers. No defenses. He let someone in, a friend, a lover, maybe even family, believing that vulnerability would deepen trust. Instead, it became ammunition. And they fired. That moment changed him. Maybe a personal truth was twisted into weakness. Maybe a hidden fear became the punchline behind closed doors. Or maybe his quiet demeanor was misread as arrogance, and his vulnerability thrown back at him when he was most exposed. Whatever the betrayal looked like, it rewired him permanently. Since then, openness feels like stepping into crosshairs. Transparency? A liability. Vulnerability? Not a chance. Not because he lacks depth or compassion, but because the cost of being misunderstood, or worse, used, is simply too high. People often say, just talk to someone. But they never mention what happens when that someone weaponizes your truth. So now, he keeps everything locked inside. Not as avoidance, but as strategy. His privacy isn't a preference, it's a shield. A shield forged not in apathy, but in pain. He might come off as calm, detached, even aloof, but beneath that exterior is a system of emotional landmines few will ever detect. And fewer will survive. He won't risk it again. Because he's learned the brutal truth, most people don't want to understand you. They want access to you. And once they have it, they either mishandle it or exploit it. So now, when someone asks why he's so private, he doesn't explain. He just smiles, changes the subject. Because what they call mystery is actually a memory he refuses to relive. Number 4, Sigma males never broadcast their moves, because real power dies in the spotlight. You'll never hear a Sigma male hype up his next big play. He's not tweeting progress updates. He's not asking for opinions. He's building in silence. And for good reason. Because the moment you reveal your plans, you invite sabotage. People pretend to support you, but behind the forced smiles are quiet envy and hidden motives. That's not paranoia. That's pattern recognition. He's watched others share dreams, only to be met with backhanded encouragement, unsolicited opinions, or outright theft. So now, he says nothing. Not out of fear, but out of strategic discipline. To the Sigma male, premature exposure is the death of execution. It's like showing your full hand before the cards are even dealt. And that's not how he plays. He moves in silence. Builds in private. And lets results speak louder than noise. He's not seeking validation, he's hunting outcomes. So by the time anyone realizes what he's done, it's already finished. The foundation's poured, the structure's built, and the success is undeniable. There's nothing left to block, sabotage, or steal. He doesn't stay quiet to be mysterious. He stays quiet because real power never needs to explain itself. It simply arrives, fully formed, and alters the landscape without warning. So when someone asks him, "What are you working on?" he shrugs. Says something vague. Plays it cool. Meanwhile, he's crafting something far beyond anyone's expectations. And by the time they see it, it's too late to stop it. That's how he wins. Not with noise. Not with hype. But with silence so complete, it becomes untouchable. Number 5, they're watching others fall apart from oversharing. Sigma males aren't just passive observers, they're tactical analysts. While the world is busy oversharing every detail of their inner lives like it's some sort of contest, the Sigma male is quietly studying the consequences. Emotional meltdowns posted for validation, trauma paraded around for clout, and breakdowns masquerading as authenticity, he sees right through it. To him, it's not just noise, it's instruction. With every post, every outburst, every cry for attention, people unknowingly hand over the blueprint to their own downfall. Weaknesses, insecurities, triggers, it's all laid bare for anyone to exploit. And the Sigma? He takes notes. He learns what not to do. He doesn't play the game. He vanishes from it. Not because he's hiding something, but because he refuses to perform. He won't bleed in public to gain relevance. Where others seek attention, he seeks control. Because once you're fully exposed, you're fully predictable. And in a world obsessed with exposure, predictability is the biggest liability. While the crowd trades dignity for dopamine hits, the Sigma male collects data in silence. He watches who's unstable, who's desperate for likes, who craves external validation just to feel alive. And it all confirms what he's always known. Privacy isn't isolation, it's protection. His silence isn't passive. It's precise. He's not invisible because he's weak. He's invisible because it keeps him powerful. While others overshare for digital applause, he builds quietly. And when people ask why he never posts or shares much, the answer is simple. He's seen what happens to those who do. And he's not about to become another cautionary tale in the algorithm's graveyard. Number 6, they hide because most people want access, not connection. Here's the hard truth Sigma males have come to accept. Most people don't want real connection, they want access. Access to your thoughts. Access to your energy. Access to your presence. But not out of respect. Out of utility. They want to siphon your insight, copy your mindset, and use your calmness like a blueprint, without ever offering real loyalty or depth in return. And once the Sigma male recognized that pattern, he didn't just pull back, he built a fortress. He's not antisocial. He's anti-exploitation. There's a difference. He's endured the drain of lopsided relationships, where he's the one giving, solving, understanding, while others take, mimic, or disappear when they've gotten what they came for. These are people fascinated by his vibe, but indifferent to his values. They don't show up to build. They show up to extract. That's why Sigma males no longer offer open access to their inner world. If you want to enter, there's a test. Consistency. Integrity. Zero manipulation. Without those, the gate stays closed. It's not ego. It's preservation. Because the wrong people don't just drain your energy, they steal your formula. They study how you think, move, and remain unshaken, then try to copy or distort it for their own benefit. Sigma males know the difference between curiosity and consumption. They don't overshare, not out of coldness, but calibration. Connection, to them, is sacred, not transactional. They know real loyalty is rare. They've stopped giving the benefit of the doubt. Now they give a boundary, and watch the reaction. When someone resents the silence, the space, the distance, it reveals everything. Real ones respect it. Opportunists vanish. And that's exactly the point. Number 7, privacy isn't secrecy, it's power. To the Sigma male, privacy isn't a quirk. It's a weapon. He doesn't keep quiet because he's hiding something. He stays silent because he understands a simple truth: what you don't reveal can't be used against you. In a world obsessed with attention, validation, and constant sharing, the Sigma male plays an entirely different game, one rooted in mystery, silence, and control. He never confirms. Not his plans. Not his feelings. Not even his opinions. Why? Because every piece of information is a potential weakness. Give someone a detail, and you hand them a thread. Tug enough threads, and they'll unravel your calm, your strategy, and your advantage. Sigma males learned this lesson the hard way. Now, they keep the blueprint to themselves. But here's the twist: he doesn't just use silence for defense. He uses it as a psychological edge. He lets people guess, wonder, speculate. And he never corrects them. Because doubt is more dangerous than certainty. When people aren't sure who you are or what you're planning, they become cautious. They overthink. That hesitation? That's leverage. Most confuse silence with weakness. Sigma males know it's pure strength. Ambiguity creates tension. And when people can't predict your next move, they can't control you. When they don't know what drives you or what breaks you, they're powerless. He doesn't announce his goals, not for mystery, but to protect momentum. He doesn't parade his love life, flaunt money, or explain his disappearances, because sacred things lose their value in the spotlight. He moves quietly, not out of fear, but out of strategy. What the world sees is only what he allows. The rest is locked away, not because it's shameful, but because it's priceless. He understands that power lies in what remains unseen. So, he weaponizes silence, cloaks himself in mystery, and lets the world keep talking, while he builds, watches, and quietly dominates. Number 8, they hide their true selves because the world rewards the fake. Sigma males don't conceal their true selves because they're scared. They do it because they know this world doesn't deserve the raw, unfiltered version of them. We live in a culture that claps for fake smiles, celebrates shallow content, and punishes authenticity. Show your truth, and you're too much. Show your scars, and you're damaged. Speak your mind, and you're labeled difficult. Meanwhile, plastic personalities and empty positivity get likes, shares, and applause. The system is rigged, and the Sigma male refuses to play. He doesn't suppress his depth out of weakness, but out of self-respect. He knows his mind is sharp, his soul is deep, and his presence is powerful, but he protects it like a guarded vault. Behind his silence is a storm. Behind his eyes, a universe. But he's not wasting that kind of intensity on a world that would misuse it, misunderstand it, or exploit it. He's not performing. He's preserving. Where others advertise their personalities like brands, the Sigma male treats his identity like treasure. Not to hoard it, but to keep it from being diluted, dissected, or destroyed. He doesn't chase likes, he values loyalty. He doesn't want fans, he seeks truth. And because truth is rare, the real version of him is even rarer. If the world ever starts honoring depth over performance, maybe you'll get to see him in full. Until then, all you get is the version built for survival, not applause. Because in a world built on illusion, silence isn't hiding. It's resistance. Number 9, they don't just hide facts, they hide their triggers. Sigma males don't merely conceal what they're doing, they guard what moves them. Their emotional landscape is like a vault, sealed with discipline and precision. You won't know what angers them. You won't know what shakes them. And you'll never know what could break them. Not because they're emotionless, but because they've transformed emotional privacy into psychological armor. This isn't an accident. It's intentional. They understand that once someone knows your emotional triggers, they have access to a remote control for your mind. They can manipulate, provoke, destabilize, all just to feel powerful. Sigma males don't grant that kind of access. So they train their expressions to stay unreadable. Their tone remains calm. Their emotions stay hidden. You can insult them, try to provoke them, even challenge their core, and they'll meet you with silence, a stare, or a subtle smirk. Not because they don't feel, but because they refuse to bleed energy publicly. They process things internally, silently, where no one can gather intel. That's not repression. That's emotional strategy. Most people leak emotions without realizing it. They flinch, rant, lash out, and in doing so, they expose the blueprint to their core. Sigma males don't. They let people believe they're unaffected, while quietly analyzing, calculating, and preparing a response, not a reaction. They're not here to win petty arguments, they're playing the long game, where composure is deadlier than confrontation. What they're protecting isn't just information. It's emotional sovereignty. That's why they're nearly impossible to bait, manipulate, or corner. People may call them cold, but the truth is, they're concealed. Because once you stop exposing your triggers, you become immune to most psychological traps. That's not just privacy. That's control. Number 10, they're not hiding darkness, they're hiding depth. People assume Sigma males are hiding something dark. They're not. They're hiding something far more unsettling, depths that most people simply can't handle. Emotional, intellectual, psychological depths that don't fit into surface-level conversations. While others chase gossip, trends, and superficial validation, the Sigma male is decoding human behavior, questioning systems, and unpacking reality at a level few ever reach. When he speaks, it's not just commentary, it's a mirror. And that mirror makes people uncomfortable. So he stays silent. Not because he lacks thoughts, but because most people can't handle the weight of them. He's tried sharing before, tried peeling back the layers. What he got in return was misinterpretation, discomfort, and judgment. He learned that most people don't want truth. They want comfortable lies. They want palatable half-truths that don't disrupt their illusions. So now, he watches. He listens. He smiles while holding back what could shake the room. It's not arrogance. It's restraint. It's mercy in silence. People mistake his distance for detachment, but what they're actually witnessing is a man protecting what's sacred. He's not hiding shame. He's conserving energy, guarding peace, preserving his internal fire. In a world addicted to exposure and explanation, he chooses privacy with purpose. Because what he's protecting isn't weak. It's powerful. Number 11, what they're really hiding is chaos. Behind a Sigma male's calm gaze is a quiet storm, and very few realize it. Why? Because he's mastered restraint. But don't confuse silence for softness. What he's truly hiding is his capacity for chaos, not in the reckless sense, but in the strategic, calculated, and lethal form. He doesn't react impulsively. He plans. But under that calm exterior is a mind running simulations, anticipating moves, calculating consequences. He's envisioned what would happen if he let go of that restraint, and he knows it would dismantle egos, destroy illusions, and shift dynamics permanently. He stays reserved not because he lacks opinion or power, but because he's disciplined enough to hold it back. And if he ever unleashed the full force of what he knows, what he feels, and what he's capable of, it wouldn't just challenge people. It would redefine the entire conversation. Most people aren't built to handle a man who doesn't fear backlash, isn't burdened by guilt, and speaks with ruthless clarity. So he keeps that version of himself locked away, not out of shame, but out of respect for the damage it could do. Because once that version is unleashed, there's no putting it back. Number 12, they've seen too much to trust the show. Sigma males didn't retreat by chance. They distanced themselves because they saw behind the curtain. And what they found wasn't some deeper enlightenment, it was a bitter clarity. The kind that rewires your perspective permanently. They saw the hollow core of institutions that claim integrity but operate on control. They witnessed relationships built on convenience, not commitment. They watched charismatic leaders manipulate with charm instead of character. And they realized society applauds image, not truth. After that kind of awakening, you don't go back. You stop playing along. Their silence isn't secrecy. It's self-preservation in a world addicted to theatrics. Once you've seen how fake the stage really is, you stop dancing for applause. You step off with your peace, dignity, and mind intact. They don't chase validation, likes, or attention anymore, because they've seen what it costs to maintain those illusions. This is why they don't trust easily. Not because they're damaged, but because they're decoded. They've seen how authenticity is punished, how vulnerability is repackaged as weakness, and how most people wear masks even in their realest moments. So when a Sigma male pulls away, goes silent, or vanishes, it's not bitterness. It's wisdom. They're not difficult. They're just done pretending. They've seen too much. And the show? They're no longer interested in acting. People call them aloof, cold, antisocial. But the truth is, they're awake. They've seen the scripts, the performances, the games, and instead of fixing the broken stage, they walk off it. Final note. This isn't silence, it's sovereignty. Behind their quiet is strategy. Behind their distance is discernment. Behind their silence is leverage. They've seen too much. Felt too much. Been burned enough times to know. The world doesn't deserve unrestricted access to their soul. While others overshare and unravel, Sigma males remain composed, unreadable, and untouched. What they hide isn't fear. It's strength. What they protect isn't ego. It's depth. And what they value more than attention is self-control.